The rain hammered the windows of our cramped Brooklyn walk-up like it was trying to drown out the city's endless hum. But nothing could wash away the knot in my gut. I stared at my phone, thumb frozen over the screen, heart slamming against my ribs as the app's glow lit up the dim kitchen. There he was, Mason, swiping through profiles just like me, his bio screaming adventure-seeking real connection, with that crooked smile in his profile pic that I'd memorized from stolen glances across the breakfast table. In that split second, as lightning cracked outside and thunder rattled the dishes, I realized the guy I'd been falling for in secret for 6 months wasn't some distant dream. He was the one crashing on my couch right now, oblivious, while I shattered into 1,000 unspoken what-ifs. I slammed my phone face down on the chipped Formica counter, the clatter echoing louder than it should in the two-bedroom we'd scraped together rent for after college kicked us out into the wilds of New York. Mason, my roommate, my best friend since freshman orientation at NYU, the guy who dragged me to dive bars in the East Village and late-night diners in Hell's Kitchen, was out there hunting for love on Grindr, same as me. And I just liked his profile. Accidentally? No. My thumb had betrayed me, hovering too long over that heart icon because his eyes in the photo looked just as lost as mine felt on most days. The apartment smelled like leftover Thai takeout and the faint citrus of his cologne, a scent that always lingered like a ghost after he'd stumble in from a shift at the graphic design firm downtown. I paced the linoleum floor, socks slipping on a puddle from the leaky faucet we'd been meaning to fix. What the hell was I supposed to do now? Pretend I hadn't seen it? Swipe left in real life and keep shoving down this ache that had started as a flicker, him laughing at my dumb puns during our first shared pizza, and grown into a bonfire I couldn't extinguish? A key scraped in the lock, and I froze, pulse thundering. The door swung open, admitting a gust of damp November air and Mason, shaking rain from his dark curls like a Labrador after a swim. He was soaked through, his black t-shirt clinging to the lean lines of his chest, jeans plastered to his thighs. Elijah, man, you won't believe the flood out there. Subway's a nightmare. His voice was that easy baritone, warm as the radiator's sporadic heat, and he kicked off his boots without looking up, tossing his messenger bag onto the hook. I forced a grin, leaning against the counter like my world hadn't just tilted. Yeah? Tell me about it. I was gonna order pizza, but my voice cracked, and I covered it with a cough, busying myself with the fridge. Cold air blasted my face, grounding me. He didn't know, couldn't know. We'd roomed together for 2 years now. Post-grad survival in a city that chewed up dreamers like us and spat out baristas with MFAs. Mason, with his quick sketches and quicker wit, chasing freelance gigs. Me, grinding as a junior editor at a indie lit mag, pretending my poems about unrequited everything weren't half written about him. He peeled off his shirt right there in the kitchen, casual as ever, revealing the tattoo of a compass rose on his ribcage, a relic from a road trip we'd taken sophomore year. Him behind the wheel of his beat-up Civic, me shotgun with a playlist of indie folk that made him roll his eyes but secretly hum along. Water droplets traced paths down his skin, and I looked away, heat crawling up my neck. Dude, dry off before you flood the place worse than the street. I tossed him a dish towel, missing his shoulder by inches. Mason caught it mid-air, chuckling. Bossy tonight, Eli. Rough day at the salt mine. He rubbed his hair vigorously, then draped the towel around his neck, padding barefoot to the fridge. Our arms brushed as he reached for a beer, and electricity zipped through me. Familiar, torturous. Nah, just the usual. Boss writing me about deadlines again. He cracked the can, foam spilling over his knuckles. You? That app thing keeping you up? Saw you glued to your phone earlier. My stomach dropped. He knew I was on Grindr? Of course he did. We joked about it over beers, him admitting he dipped a toe in after his last breakup, me nodding like I wasn't using it as a band-aid for this crush that had rooted deeper than I cared to admit. Yeah, well, endless parade of gym bros and finance dudes. Riveting. I snatched a beer for myself, clinking it against his in a mockery of normalcy. But inside, the hook was set. He'd like someone tonight, or messaged them, or worse, met up. We migrated to the living room, collapsing onto the sagging couch that we'd scored off Craigslist, the TV flickering with some Netflix true crime doc we half-watched. Mason stretched out, feet propped on the coffee table cluttered with his sketch pads and my dog-eared paperbacks. The rain softened to a patter, and the city lights smeared gold across the fire escape outside our window. For a moment it was just us, like 100 nights before, bullshitting about everything and nothing. He talked about a client brief gone sideways, his voice animated, hands gesturing wild arcs that nearly knocked over the lamp. I laughed, the sound genuine despite the storm in my chest, because that's what Mason did. Made the chaos feel survivable. But then his phone buzzed on the cushion between us, screen lighting up with a notification. Grindr. The little pink heart icon mocked me from 3 feet away. He glanced at it, a flush creeping up his neck. Not embarrassment, but that spark of interest I'd kill to see aimed at me. "Hold up," he muttered, thumbing it open. I pretended to focus on the TV, but my eyes darted, catching fragments. A message bubble, a username I didn't recognize. His lips curved in that half-smile, the one that crinkled his hazel eyes, and he typed back, quick and secretive. Jealousy hit like a sucker punch, hot and irrational. Who was this guy? Some faceless profile with abs and a bio full of emojis? I wanted to grab the phone, smash it, demand why he couldn't see me. The one who knew how he took his coffee? Black, 2 sugars on bad days. Who patched him up after bar fights with ice packs and bad jokes. Who lay awake listening to him toss in the next room, wondering if he ever thought about me that way. Instead, I stood abruptly. Gonna crash early. Deadline tomorrow. Mason looked up, brow furrowing. "You good, Eli? Seem off." "Yeah, just tired." I ruffled his damp hair on impulse. Brotherly, safe, and bolted to my room, door clicking shut like a confession withheld. I stripped down, crawled under the threadbare quilt, and pulled up the app again. His profile stared back, last active now. I'd unmatched us in a panic after liking it, but the damage was done. Scrolling his pics. Him at Coney Island last summer, wind-whipped grin. A black and white selfie in his studio, charcoal smudges on his cheek. Each one a knife twist. Sleep evaded me, the rain a relentless underscore to my spiraling thoughts. What if he swiped back? What if he didn't? By dawn, the city awakening with horns and sirens, I'd convinced myself it was nothing. A glitch in the matrix of modern loneliness. But as I heard him shuffling in the kitchen, brewing coffee, I knew everything had shifted. The line between roommate and something more had blurred into invisibility, and there was no unseeing it now. Morning light slanted through the blinds, painting stripes across the floorboards as I emerged, bleary-eyed and resolute. Mason was at the stove, flipping pancakes, his Sunday ritual even when it was Monday and we both had to be at work by 9. The sizzle and sweet batter smell wrapped around me like a hug I didn't deserve. "Rise and shine, sleepyhead," he called over his shoulder, spatula in hand. He was in boxers and a faded band tee, curls a riot from sleep, and for a heartbeat, the app felt like a bad dream. I slid onto a stool at the breakfast bar, accepting the mug he slid my way. "You spoil me." Our fingers brushed. Innocent, electric, and I pulled back too fast, splashing coffee on the counter. He noticed, eyes narrowing playfully. "Spilling secrets already? What's eating you, man?" Mason plated the pancakes, drowning them in syrup, and sat across from me, knees bumping mine under the tiny table. Up close, he was all freckles and laugh lines, the kind of handsome that snuck up on you, not flashy but steady, like the Hudson at dawn. Just the city, you know? Feels like we're all chasing shadows. I forked into the stack, the fluffiness melting on my tongue. Safe territory, our default gripe session about rent hikes and ghosted job apps. He nodded, chewing thoughtfully. "Tell me about it. Signed up for that app to meet real people, not more flakes. Last guy bailed on coffee because traffic. In Manhattan, Eli. Traffic." His eye roll was theatrical, but there was an undercurrent, a weariness that mirrored my own. Out since high school back in Philly, Mason wore his queerness like a badge. Easy dates and flings that left him grinning but never staying. Me? Closeted to all but a handful, the weight of immigrant parents' expectations. Dad's steel mill stories from Pittsburgh, Mom's church hymns, keeping me in the shadows. I swallowed hard. Yeah? Any keepers lately? Pause, his fork hovering. One profile caught my eye last night. Felt familiar somehow. My heart stuttered. Did he mean me? Or the other guy? He set down his utensil, leaning in. But nah. It's all surface. I want depth, you know? Someone who gets the mess. Our gazes locked, and in that syrup-sweet silence, I saw it. The possibility flickering like the flame under the stove. But fear clamped down, and I looked away, muttering about emails. We finished eating in companionable quiet. The rain cleared to a crisp blue sky, but the hook from last night lingered, tugging me toward a truth I wasn't ready to reel in. Work blurred into a haze, red lines on manuscripts, coffee runs, the Lit Mag's open-plan office buzzing with Type A 20-somethings pitching podcasts on forgotten poets. By 5, I was drained, texting Mason a lame excuse about staying late. Truth? I needed space to scroll, to torture myself with his profile updates. He'd added a new pic, him at the Brooklyn Bridge, sunset gilding his profile, caption, chasing horizons. Likes poured in and I hated them all. Home by 8. The apartment thrummed with his music. Bon Iver, low and haunting. He was sprawled on the couch, laptop balanced on his knees, fingers flying over keys. The prodigal editor returns, he quipped, not looking up. Brought tie. Guilty. I dropped the bag, kicking off shoes. We ate cross-legged on the floor, containers open like a feast, trading bites and stories. Normal. Perfectly, painfully normal. Then his phone buzzed again. Grindr. He silenced it, but not before I saw the preview. Hey stranger, up for drinks? From some handle called NY_Wanderer. Hot date. I aimed for teasing, but it landed flat. Mason shrugged, a shadow crossing his face. Maybe, or maybe I'm done swiping. He closed the laptop, turning to me fully. Eli, you ever feel like the right person's closer than you think? Like, right under your nose. The air thickened, charged. I could confess. Spill it all, the late-night fantasies. The way his laugh rewired my brain. But the words stuck, and instead I nodded. All the time. That night, as he headed out, jacket slung over shoulder, a quick, don't wait up. I reopened the app. His status, active. Mine, a ghost in the machine. The door clicked shut, and the apartment echoed empty, the first crack in our fragile facade. The next week dragged like a bad sequel, each day layering on the awkwardness until our easy rhythm felt like a minefield. Mason came home late more often, that secretive phone glow his constant companion, and I'd catch myself staring at the door, wondering if tonight was the night he brought someone back. The what-ifs gnawed at me. What if he laughed about it over drinks? Some stranger getting the version of Mason I hoarded like contraband? What if the familiar profile he'd mentioned was just a throwaway line, and I was the fool building cathedrals out of crumbs? By Thursday, the tension snapped. I got home first, arms loaded with groceries. Impulse buy, therapy via overpriced kale, and found him in the kitchen, head in hands, staring at a half-empty whiskey bottle on the counter. The apartment reeked of it, sharp and sour, mixing with the faint ozone of a brewing storm outside. Maze? What the hell? He looked up, eyes bloodshot, that compass tattoo peeking from his unbuttoned shirt like a taunt. Eli, shit, didn't hear you. His voice was gravel, the kind that came from too many smokes on fire escapes or too few hours chasing dreams. I dropped the bags, apples rolling across the floor like escaped secrets. Talk to me. You look like death warmed over. He laughed, bitter and broken, pushing the bottle away. Just, a date went south. Guy was all charm online. Then in person, total asshole. Kept pushing for more, like I was a checklist item. Mason rubbed his face, stubble rasping. Makes me wonder if I'm cut out for this. The apps, the scene, it's also performative. I sank into the chair beside him, close enough to feel the heat radiating off his skin, the faint tremor in his knee brushing mine. My hand hovered, then settled on his shoulder, solid, warm. You're not performative, Maze. You're the realest guy I know. That dickhead doesn't deserve the time of day. His head turned, hazel eyes locking on mine, raw and searching. For a heartbeat, the world narrowed. Rain lashing the window, the hum of the fridge, his breath mingling with mine. Thanks, Eli. You're always there. What would I do without you? The question hung, heavy with subtext I ached to unpack. Instead, I squeezed his shoulder, pulling him into a hug. Bro hugs were our currency, safe harbor. But this one lingered, his arms wrapping tight around my waist, face buried in my neck. His heartbeat thrummed against my chest, syncing with mine in a rhythm that felt like home. You won't have to find out, I murmured, voice muffled in his curls. We stayed like that until the whiskeys pull one, and he pulled back, sheepish grin cracking through. Come on, let's salvage this night. Movie? Your pick. No more serial killers. I laughed, the sound easing the knot in my throat. Deal. But I'm commandeering the remote. We migrated to the couch, armed with popcorn and bad intentions. The film some rom-com I'd never admit to loving. Halfway through, as the leads argued in the rain. Classic trope. Mason's head lolled onto my shoulder, breath evening out in sleep. I didn't move, savoring the weight, the trust. His phone buzzed once, ignored, screen dark. For once, the app lost. Friday blurred into freelance frenzy for him. Deadlines for me, but Saturday dawned golden. The kind of autumn day that tricked you into forgetting winter's bite. Park? He suggested over coffee. Eyes bright again, hangover banished. Prospect. Leaves are killer this time of year. We bundled up, me in a wool coat from the thrift shop, him in that leather jacket that made him look like a brooding indie film lead, and hit the streets, subway rattling us to the green expanse where Brooklyn exhaled. The air crisp with fallen leaves crunching underfoot. Vendors hawking chestnuts and hot cider. Mason bought us both steaming mugs, our gloved hands brushing as he passed mine. To detours, he toasted, clinking foam edges. To detours. We wandered paths lined with maples aflame in red and gold. The city skyline a distant smudge. He sketched idly on a napkin, quick lines capturing a jogger's stride, a dog's joyful leap, while I spun stories about the strangers we passed. The old man feeding pigeons was a retired spy, the couple arguing softly, star-crossed inventors. Laughter came easy, the week's shadows retreating. But then, under a sprawling oak, he stopped, gaze distant. Eli, remember that road trip? Route 66. Shitty motels. You blasting that playlist till I begged for mercy. How could I forget? You sang along to every word. I nudged him, grinning. He smiled faintly, but it didn't reach his eyes. That was freedom. No apps, no expectations. Just us against the world. A pause, leaves swirling at our feet. Lately, feels like I've lost that. Like I'm chasing something that's already gone. My chest tightened. It's not gone, Maze. It's right here. The words slipped out, bolder than intended, and his eyes snapped to mine, surprise flickering. Did he hear the undercurrent? The plea? Before he could respond, his phone chimed, work email, thank God, and the moment fractured. We kept walking, but the air hummed with unspoken static, every glance loaded. That night, back in the apartment, the spell held. Dinner was delivery sushi, spread on the coffee table like a picnic, paired with cheap sake we'd smuggled from the corner bodega. Tipsy and loose, we played cards, poker, strip rules optional but never invoked. His laughter booming as he bluffed disastrously. You're terrible at this, I teased, raking in chips. Am not, just strategically generous. He leaned across, breath warm on my cheek, to steal a California roll from my plate. Our faces inches apart, sake flushing our skin, and time stretched. His lips parted slightly, eyes dropping to my mouth. I could have closed the gap, leaned in, but the app loomed in my mind, that phantom rival, and doubt crashed the party. I pulled back, coughing. Your deal. He blinked, then nodded, shuffling with forced nonchalance. The game dragged, charged with near misses. Knees touching, hands grazing. By midnight, cards abandoned, we crashed on the couch, a tangle of limbs under a shared blanket, some documentary droning. His head on my chest again, rising with my breaths, and I traced idle patterns on his arm, innocent until it wasn't. Eli, his voice sleepy, vulnerable. Yeah. Don't ever leave. Okay? This us. It's the only thing that feels right. I swallowed the lump in my throat. Never. But as he drifted off, phone silent beside us, I wondered how long I could keep pretending this was enough. Monday brought reality's cold slap. A work crisis for me, pulling an all-nighter on a feature rewrite, fueled by vending machine caffeine. Mason texted check-ins. Alive. Need backup. And showed up at dawn with bagels and that grin, saving me from collapse. Gratitude swelled, morphing into something fiercer as he sat on my desk chair, feet up, watching me type. You're a machine, Eli, but even machines need oiling. Flirt? I shot back, half joking, and he winked, the room shrinking around us. But the app intruded again that week, his, not mine. I caught a glimpse Wednesday night. Him typing furiously in the bathroom, door ajar, steam from a shower curling out. Can't tonight, roomy emergency, he said aloud, voice apologetic. To whom? The jealousy flared, irrational and searing. Was I the emergency or the obstacle? By Friday it boiled over. He announced plans, drinks with a friend from the app. Casual, but his fidgeting betrayed nerves. You in? Could use the wingman. My stomach twisted. Watch him flirt with someone else? Pass. Got that poetry slam downtown. Break a leg. Lies stacked like bricks. But I couldn't witness it. He left looking disappointed, and the apartment swallowed me whole. I hit the slam hard, verses about fractured hearts earning snaps and nods. But my mind wandered to him, toasting some ghost. Home by 11, lights off, I assumed he'd stayed out. Wrong. The door creaked at 1 a.m., and there was Mason, disheveled, eyes glassy. Not from booze, but tears? He collapsed against me in the doorway, reeking of rain and regret. Eli, I fucked up. I guided him inside, heart pounding. What happened? The date. He was great, funny, but then he asked about you, said he recognized my address from my profile pic, the fire escape. Turned out he's your ex's best friend. Knew everything. Twisted it, made me feel exposed. His voice cracked, fists clenched. Like I'm some joke. Rage surged for the guy, for the app's cruel algorithms. I pulled him close, fierce. You're not a joke, Maze. You're everything. In the dim hall light, he looked up, shattered and searching. Then why does it feel like I'm always running? Because you're scared? I whispered, truth spilling free. We both are. His hand cupped my jaw, thumb tracing my lip. Tender, tentative. The world held its breath. Then, soft as the rain outside, he kissed me. Not a bro peck, but a question, a confession, lips warm and hesitant against mine. I answered, pulling him deeper, the kiss igniting months of banked fire. Hands and hair, bodies aligning, it was clumsy and perfect. Taste of mint and whiskey, the press of his tattoo under my palm. We broke apart, gasping, foreheads touching. Eli, don't, I breathed. Just stay. We did. Tangled on the couch till dawn. Kisses fading to whispers, the app forgotten. For the first time, everything felt shifted right. The morning after tasted like revelation. Sun spilling through cracks in the blinds, Mason's arm heavy across my waist. His breath a steady rhythm against my shoulder. I lay there, tracing the freckles on his knuckles, memorizing the way his lashes fanned dark against his skin. It wasn't a dream. The faint ache in my neck from the couch arm confirmed it. We'd kissed. More than kissed. Hands exploring boundaries we'd tiptoed around for years. And in the gray light of almost dawn, he'd murmured my name like a prayer before sleep claimed us. He stirred around 9, eyes fluttering open, that sleepy smile breaking wide when he saw me watching. Morning, stranger. No awkwardness, just warmth. His fingers lacing through mine. Coffee. We moved like we'd rehearsed it. Him brewing, me scrambling eggs, domestic choreography with stolen glances and brushes of hips. Over breakfast, knees touching under the table, we danced around it. The kiss, the shift. About last night, he started, voice low. I meant it, all of it. Me too. Relief flooded me, sweet as the steam rising from our mugs. But, slow? We've got time. He nodded, grin turning boyish. Slow as molasses. But yeah, time. The week unfolded like a soft focus montage. New York's grit gilded by our secret glow. Mornings tangled in sheets, we'd migrated to my bed. His a perpetual mess of sketchpads. Lazy kisses over toast. Evenings walking the bridge at twilight, hands swinging loose until we thought no one watched, then intertwining fingers. Mason deleted the app first. Ceremonious, me cheering as he hit uninstall. Phone tossed like a grenade. I followed, the void liberating. But bliss has teeth. Saturday brought my parents' annual call from Pittsburgh. Video. Mom's face filling the screen with her perm and pearl earrings. Dad's steel-wool brows furrowed behind her. Elijah, Mijo, you look thin. Eating? That city. It's no place for a good Catholic boy. Her rosary beads clicked. A subtle reminder of the closet I'd nailed shut years ago. I'm good, Ma. Work steady. Lies layered thick. The apartment behind me staged neutral. No Mason's boots by the door, no telltale mug. Dad grunted. Heard about that magazine folding. You need a real job, son. Come home, the mill's hiring. The familiar script chafed. Their love a cage wrapped in concern. Not now, Dad. Love you guys. Click. I sagged against the wall, the weight settling. Mason found me there, brow creased. Rough. Always. I pulled him down beside me, head on his shoulder. They mean well, but it's like they see the kid I was, not me. He kissed my temple. They'll come around. Or they won't. But you've got me. Simple, solid. It anchored me. His world intruded next. A family dinner invite from his sister in Queens. Casual but loaded. Come meet the chaos, he urged, eyes hopeful. Philly Irish-Italian stock, his clan was loud, accepting. Coming out at 16 had been a non-event. Dad clapping his back with a be-safe kid. Envy twisted in me as we rode the train. His hand on my thigh under the table of the diner car. The house was a brownstone explosion. Nieces shrieking, Nana stirring sauce. His sister Maria hugging us both like we'd always been a unit. So you're the famous Elijah. Stealing my brother's heart, huh? She winked, no malice, and Mason flushed crimson. Dinner first, interrogations later, he muttered, but pride swelled in me. Around the table, stories flew. His coming-out tale retold with laughs, plates passed hand to hand. I chimed in, tentative at first, then bolder, their warmth thawing the frost from my bones. On the stoop after, Maria pulled me aside. He lights up around you, Eli. Don't let go. I won't, I promised, throat tight. Back in Brooklyn, buzzed on Chianti and Family High. We tumbled into bed, kisses hungry but halting, boundaries respected, emotions raw. Love this, he whispered, tracing my collarbone. Us. Me too. But as he slept, doubts crept. How long before my world collided with his? Before the closet door buckled? The fracture came mid-month, a freelance gig pulling him to LA for a week, big client, portfolio booster. Video calls every night. He vowed at JFK drop-off, kissing me fierce in the shadows of the terminal. Miss you already. The apartment echoed without him, a hollow shell. Nights blurred. Work, takeout, endless scrolls through our texts. Him at Venice Beach, sun-kissed and grinning. Me at a slam versus sharper with longing. But on day 4, a call cut short. Client dinner running late. Talk tomorrow. Tomorrow became 2 days, then radio silence. Panic simmered, work stress? Or regret? By day 6, I cracked, dialing his hotel. Voicemail. A text. You okay? Hours later. Swamped, babe. Landing soon. Red heart. Relief ward with unease. He came home Friday, jet-lagged but beaming, scooping me into a bear hug that spun us across the kitchen. Missed you like air. We crashed early, bodies aligning familiar, but his phone buzzed insistent. texts piling up. He silenced it, but not before I glimpsed, "Missed you tonight" from an unknown number. "Who's that?" Casual, but my voice pitched high. He stiffened. "Client." "Nothing." Kissed to deflect, and I let it, but the seed sprouted thorns. The weekend patched it. Brunch at a Bushwick cafe, him sketching me over lattes, eyes soft. "You're my muse, Eli." We hiked the Palisades, Manhattan a toy across the river, hands linked on the trail. Peak foliage framed us, reds bleeding into blues, and atop a bluff, he dropped to one knee. Not proposal, but a pebble, skipping it into the Hudson. "Promise me we'll always find these moments." Always. Sealed with a kiss, wind whipping our coats. But Monday shattered the idol. My editor called, a feature on queer-lit icons, deadline tight, research heavy. I dove in, but Mason's schedule mirrored. Late nights, vague excuses. "Portfolio push," he'd say, home after midnight, collapsing without preamble. By Wednesday, the texts escalated. Mine unanswered, his phone a fortress. I confronted him in the hall, voice steady despite the quake. "Maze, what's going on?" "You're distant." He ran a hand through his curls, defeated. "It's nothing. Just pressure." "Bullshit." Hurt sharpened my tone. "That number from LA, client my ass." His eyes widened, guilt flashing. "Eli, it's not." "Who is he?" The question hung, venomous. A beat, then quiet. An old flame, reconnected on the trip. Harmless flirting, I swear. Flirting. The word gutted me, the app's ghost resurrected. Harmless? While I'm here waiting. "I didn't mean." He reached, but I jerked back. "You said slow. But this feels like running." Door slammed, me in my room, him in the living room, our first rift, the apartment a battlefield. He knocked hours later, voice muffled. "Eli, please." I ended it. Texted him tonight. "It's you. Always you." I let him in, tears hot on my cheeks. We talked till 3, fears unpacked. His history of flings as armor against abandonment. Dad's early death, Mom's remarriage shuffle. "I sabotage when it's real," he admitted, vulnerable. "Scared you'll wake up and see I'm not enough. You're everything." Forgiveness came easy, wrapped in arms and apologies. But trust? That would take stitches. The patch held, fragile but fierce. We set ground rules. No exes, open phones, and dove deeper. Poetry readings where he cheered loudest. His gallery show where I networked nerves into charm. Thanksgiving loomed, my parents insisting on a visit. Pittsburgh, the old neighborhood. "Go," he urged. "Show them you. We'll FaceTime." The drive was purgatory, steel mills belching smoke. Billboards for diners I'd outgrown. Home was hugs and ham, Mom's piercing gaze over pie. "Boyfriend?" she asked blunt. Fork paused. Dad silent beside her. Heart hammering, I nodded. "Mason. He's good for me." Tension crackled, then Mom's hand on mine. "As long as he makes you happy, Mijo." Not full acceptance, but a crack. Light through the door. Back in Brooklyn, Mason waited with takeout and open arms. "How'd it go?" "Honest." I kissed him, tasting future. "They'll meet you someday." But betrayal's shadow lingered. A whisper. What if the next trip, the next text, pulled him away? December frosted the city in silver, Christmas lights strung like promises across brownstones. But our bubble felt invincible. Until the call came New Year's Eve. Mason's phone rang during our pre-party prep. Him in a button-down that hugged his shoulders just right. Me fussing with my hair in the mirror. He answered in the kitchen, voice dropping low. "Yeah, Maria? Slow down." "What?" I froze, towel mid-swipe. His face drained of color, hand gripping the counter. "When?" "Shit. I'm coming." He hung up, eyes meeting mine. Storm clouds rolling in. Nana had a stroke. Bad. There at Mount Sinai. The world tilted. "Go. I'll cover the party. Tell everyone." "No." He pulled me close, fierce. "We go. Together." We bolted, subway first, then cab when delays mounted. Manhattan's revelry mocking our panic. The hospital was a labyrinth of beeps and bleach, fluorescent hell where time elasticized. Maria met us in the waiting room, red-eyed but steel. She's fighting. Docs say it's touch and go. We collapsed into plastic chairs, Mason's hand vice-tight in mine. Hours blurred. Coffee sludge, vending machine crackers, his thumb stroking my knuckles in silent Morse. Around 3 a.m., a doctor emerged, guarded optimism, ICU transfer. Relief cracked him open. He buried his face in my neck, sobs muffled. Can't lose her, Eli. She's everything. You won't. I held him, rocking subtle, the waiting room's other ghosts nodding understanding. Dawn found us dozing head to head, woken by Maria's soft, "She's asking for you." Nana's room was dim, monitors a mechanical lullaby, her frail form dwarfed by tubes, but her eyes sharp as ever lit when Mason entered. "My boy," she rasped, hand trembling toward him. He knelt, kissing her knuckles. "Nana, we're here." Her gaze shifted to me, appraising. "And this one? The light in your eyes." "Elijah," he said, voice thick. "My heart." She nodded, faint smile. "Treat him right, or I'll haunt you." Weak laugh, but the blessing landed, warming the sterile chill. We stayed till visiting hours booted us, crashing at Maria's. Couch for me and him, tangled in exhaustion. "Thank you," he whispered in the dark, "for being my anchor. Always." But grief's undertow pulled. He withdrew over the next days, Nana's vigil a black hole. Work suffered, his sketches half-finished, my edits sloppy. I pushed gentle. Walks in the snow-dusted park, hot cocoa shared on a bench, stories of her cannoli empire back in the old country. New Year's came quiet, no ball drop, just us on the fire escape, champagne flutes raised to a sky-spitting flurries. "To us," he toasted, eyes clear for the first time in days. "To us." Kiss in the cold, sparks against the chill. January thawed the ice, Nana stabilizing enough for rehab, but the scare unearthed fault lines. Mason threw into work, a major pitch for a queer art collective, Murals for Pride. This could change everything, he enthused, studio nights bleeding into dawns. I supported, bringing takeout to his easel, but loneliness crept, my own deadlines a solitary grind. Then the betrayal bloomed, insidious. Late February, I got a text from an unknown. "Ask Mason about LA. He's not who you think." Attached, a photo, him and a guy, arms slung casual at a beach bar, timestamp from his trip. The client. Rage and hurt collided, a toxic brew. I waited till he got home, printout clutched like evidence. "Explain." His face crumpled. "Eli, LA wasn't just work, was it? That old flame. You slept with him?" Silence, damning. Then whisper, "Once. Stupid, drunk mistake." I told him it was over. "Once." Voice rising, the apartment closing in. "While we're building this, you lied." I was scared. He paced, hands fisting hair. After Nana, everything felt fragile. He was easy, familiar escape. But I chose you. Every day. Chose? Feels like betrayal. Tears burned, hot traitors. I trusted you. And I blew it. He stopped, desperate. "Let me fix it. Please." I stormed out, streets slick with slush, cold biting deep. Walked till legs burned. Ending at the bridge, railings iced under gloves. The city sprawled, indifferent and clarity cut. Love wasn't perfect. It was choice, repeated. Hours later I returned. He waited, wrecked, eyes puffy, sketchpad open to a half-done portrait of us. "I'm done running," he vowed, voice raw. "Therapy, full transparency, whatever it takes." I nodded, spent. We both fight for this. Or we don't. We didn't, not that night. Slept apart, walls thin with unspoken grief. But morning brought olive branches. His hand in mine over cereal, a playlist of makeup songs. Counseling started, queer-friendly group in Chelsea, circles of shared scars. His vulnerability there floored me. I sabotage because loss terrifies me. But losing Elijah? That's the real death. My turn, parents' shadow, the closet's echo. I hide parts of me, afraid you'll see and leave. Progress was glacial. Date nights enforced, phones open, trust rebuilt brick by brick. Spring greened the city, cherry blossoms dusting our park runs, and with it, renewal. Nana's rehab visit. Her grip stronger, stories flowing. Love's a storm, boys. Weather it. We did, weathering a gallery opening where nerves jangled. His murals unveiled to applause, me beaming from the crowd. After party at a loft, hands under the table, toasts to the next big thing. But summer simmered tensions. My promotion meant travel, Philly book fair, Boston lit fest, leaving him solo. Texts flew, but distance amplified doubts. One night, hotel bar lonely, a guy flirted, harmless, I shut it down. But guilt gnawed, confessed on return. See, he hugged me tight. We're human, messy, but together. Climax brewed in July heat wave, apartment a sauna, fans whirring futile. A fight erupted over nothing. Dishes, really, but undercurrents of exhaustion. You're pulling away again, I accused, sweat slick. No, you're doubting. He slammed a cabinet. After everything? Words escalated, hurts exhumed. L.A., my silences, fears of inadequacy. Maybe we're fooling ourselves? He spat, cruelest cut. Two broken guys playing house. The slap of truth stung. I grabbed keys, fled to the roof. City pulse below, stars smothered by light pollution. Hours passed, regret curdling. Downstairs, note on the table, I'm sorry, don't give up on us. We talked at dawn, raw as open wounds. I love you, he said first, voice breaking. Flaws and all. Love you too. Me, echoing. No fanfare, just truth. From there, ascent. Couples retreat in the Catskills, cabins and campfires, letters exchanged like old souls. Fall brought harvest. My book of poems published, dedication. For M, who saw me whole. His mural series toured, queer icons in vivid strokes. Thanksgiving, parents met him. Awkward at first, dad's gruff handshake, mom's probing questions over turkey. But Mason's charm won. Stories swapped, laughs thawing. He's a keeper, dad muttered later, approval hard won. Winter circled back. Anniversary marked with a road trip echo. Civic rented. Playlist revived. Motels with neon glow. In a desert motel outside Albuquerque. Detour for whimsy. Under star-pricked sky, he turned to me. Marry me? Not now, but someday. Tears pricked. Someday. The proposal hung like a lantern through spring's bloom. Not a ring, but a pact, etched in late-night talks and shared silences. New York shrugged into summer again, humidity thick as anticipation. Our lives intertwining deeper. Jointly signed. His studio merged with my writing nook, a potted ficus christened witness to our domestic experiments. Fights still flared. Petty over thermostat wars, profound over work-life bleed. But resolutions came swifter, laced with I love you, that stuck. Mason's art surged. A solo show at a Soho gallery landed, fractured horizons. Canvases of cracked compasses. Lovers in shadowlight, critics murmuring, visceral intimacy. Opening night, I hovered nerves, jangled in a borrowed blazer. Champagne flute sweating in my grip. He debuted in a velvet jacket, curls tamed. Eyes finding mine across the crowd. Toast raised. To the man who mended my lines. Applause thundered, but his gaze held me. Private vow amid public roar. After, loft party spilled into dawn. Artists debating theory, collectors schmoozing. Us stealing corners for kisses that tasted of Merlot and mischief. Proud, I whispered, hand in his back pocket. You make me brave. His forehead to mine, world fading. My world pivoted too, Lit Mag promoted me to features editor, helm of a Queer Voices issue. Deadlines devoured nights, but Mason anchored. Midnight fuel runs, beta reads of my intros with scribbled hearts. Launch party at a village bookstore. Shelves groaning under galleys. Luminaries toasting. He stood front row, eyes misty as I read an excerpt. Our story veiled in verse. He was the swipe I never made, the match that lit without flame. Applause swelled, his hug post-reading crushing. That's us. Summer's heat peaked with a curveball. Nana's 60th wedding anniversary vow renewal. Italy, Amalfi Coast, family edict. All in, Maria texted. Bring your heart. We pooled funds, his advance, my bonus, booked flights with layovers that tested patience. Rome first. Colosseum shadows, gelato melts on tongues, hands clasped in Vatican queues. Feels like honeymoon preview, he teased, nuzzling my ear under Trevi Fountain. Coins tossed. Eternal. I winked, coin plunking true. Amalfi was lemon groves and azure seas. Nana radiant in lace. Nano dapper despite his limp. Cliffside ceremony. Vows renewed in broken English Italian. Family a chorus of cheers. We stood witness. Mason tearing up. My arm around his waist. Reception under stars. Limoncello flows, Tarantella spins. He pulled me to dance. Clumsy steps, laughter bubbling. This, he breathed, forever, forever. But paradise cracks, jet lag and wine loosened tongues. An uncle, 3 sheets to wind, cornered Mason post dance. That trip to Ella boys still sniffing around? Slurred gossip from Maria's loose lip. Mason paled, grip bruising my hand. Old news, buried. Uncle shrugged, oblivious. Watch your back, kid. Hearts break easy. The seed of doubt. LA's ghost, resurfaced, festering on the flight home. Silence stretched, turbulence mirroring inner storms. You okay? I probed, over in-flight wine. He stared out the window, clouds boiling. Just, tired of echoes. Back in Brooklyn, the fight ignited subtle. His late nights at the studio again, excuses thin. Finishing a piece. But the phone, once open, now angled away. I swallowed paranoia, but it swelled. Mid-August discovery. Laundry day, his jacket pocket yields a receipt. LA bar. Date stamped his solo weekend while I toured Boston. Heart plummeting, I confronted over dinner. Pad thai cooling, air thick. Another client? Voice steel, hurt bleeding through. He deflated, fork dropping. No networking. Swear. Receipt says otherwise. I slid it across, trembling. Silence, then, okay. I met him for drinks. Closure talk. Nothing happened. Closure. Laughter bitter. You promised transparency. I did. But you were gone, and he texted, and I needed to end it clean. Desperation edged his tone. Eli, believe me. Do I? The question hung, eviscerating. Or is this the pattern? Run when it's hard? He stood, chair scraping. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm poison. Don't. I rose, blocking his path. We're better than this. Tears tracked his cheeks. Are we? Or am I dragging you down? The fight raged. Accusations hurled. Insecurities bared. His fear of abandonment. My terror of insufficiency. I can't keep rebuilding trust. I gasped, chest heaving. It breaks me. Then go. Whispered, but a blade. If I'm the fracture. Door didn't slam. I left quiet, crashing at a friend's in Harlem, couch lumpy with regret. Nights blurred. Texts unanswered. Work a numb haze. Poetry stalled. Edits mechanical. Mason's posts. Subtle. Aching. Sketches of empty bridges. Captions lost at sea. Week 2 intervention, Maria called. He's a wreck, Eli. Therapy's helping, but he needs you. We all do. I wavered, then showed. Keys in lock, heart in throat. He was on the floor, surrounded by ripped canvases, eyes hollow. Eli, fight for us, I said, kneeling. Both of us. He surged up, embrace crushing. I will. God, I will. Rebuild was brutal. Individual therapy ramped, couple sessions weekly. Unpacking LA as symptom, not sin. My doubts as inheritance, not indictment. Progress in inches. Date jars filled with trust builders. Shared journals. No phone dinners. Fall leaves turned, mirroring our slow unfurl. October brought balm. Nana's recovery full. A visit to Brooklyn. Her blessing over pasta. Storms pass. Loves. Hold the mast. We laughed, her stories weaving us tighter. But climax loomed Thanksgiving. Parents invite extended to Mason. Full immersion. Pittsburgh Drive. Civic packed, playlist a time machine. Tension hummed. My siblings grilled him gentle. Treat our Eli right? Mom's eyes soft over pie. Dad's nod grudging but genuine. Family now. Relief wept out in the guest room. Post-feast. They love you, I murmured, tangled sheets. Love them too. His kiss sealed it, home expanded. Winter deepened commitments. Rings shopped, simple bands engraved, shifted. Holiday markets hand in hand. Chestnuts roasted, skates on Woolman rink. Falls into arms, laughter echoing. New Year's Eve, rooftop party. City fireworks bursting, his hand in mine. To shifts, he toasted. To us, kiss under sparks, eternal. Yet betrayal's final echo. Spring, a gallery rival poached his series idea. Stolen sketches emailed anonymous. Rage unified us. He confronted. I drafted the cease and desist. Victory small but sweet. Show rescheduled, his vision intact. Summer solstice. Road trip redux, Grand Canyon rim, vastness humbling. At sunset, he knelt proper, ring glinting. Elijah, be my forever? Yes. Tears salt sweet, embrace cliffside. Wedding whispers began, small, Brooklyn botanic, family fused. But life interrupts. My diagnosis, low thyroid shadow, treatable but scary. He held vigil, appointments co-piloted. We've got this. Humanity in the mess. Love not flawless, but resilient. The wedding crystallized summer's haze into forever. Botanic gardens lush with hydrangeas. Isle of petals under a pergola draped in wisteria. 50 souls witness. Maria beaming matron. My siblings trading jabs. Nana in wheelchair throne dabbing tears. Vows handwritten. Raw. Masons, you shifted my world from grayscale to vivid. I'll paint it true every day. Mine in your light. I found my voice. I'll echo it always. Rings exchanged. Kiss sealing. Cheers erupting. Confetti whirl. Reception tent glowed fairy lit. Tables groaning Italian Puerto Rican fusion. Empanadas beside braciole. Toasts flowing like limoncello. Dad's speech gruff. Halting. Elijah, you chose brave. Mason, welcome. Son. Hugs followed, walls tumbled. Honeymoon. Amalfi echo. Coastal villa lemon-scented. Seas lapping terrace. Days lazed. Reads on chaises. Swims in coves. Nights stargazing with wine. This is us, he murmured one dawn. Waves crashing below. Unbreakable. Back in Brooklyn, rhythm resettled. Commute kisses. Shared studio hum. Fall's harvest. His book deal, memoir graphic hybrid, swiped in plain sight. Our story stylized. My anthology curated. Forward by a luminary. Launches intertwined. Crowds blending friends to family. But humanity's curve. Nana's decline. Autumn leaves falling as her strength waned. Hospice chosen. Our apartment a rotation of care. Her story's bedside. Mason sketching her hands, gnarled but graceful. You've given me legacies, she whispered one night. Us flanking her bed. Love like yours? Immortal. She slipped gentle, November fog. Funeral a tapestry of lives touched. Widows walk in Queens, bagpipes keening. Grief communal. Wakes with whiskey toasts. Her cannoli recipe passed like torch. Mason grieved open. Canvases dark, therapy doubled. I anchored, poems elegiac. Winter healed slow. Holidays hybrid, Pittsburgh for turkey. Queens for struffly. Our tree strung with compass ornaments. Resolutions. More travel, less grind, weekend Catskills. Sketching and writing retreats. Spring bloomed renewal. Adoption talks sparked, fostering first. A teen named Luca, queer and wary, placed spring break. Awkward at first, his walls high, our patience tested, but breakthroughs. Arcade nights, pride flags sewn joint. Family, he muttered one evening, board game mid-laugh. Summer circled. Anniversary Grand Canyon hike. Rings renewed in red dust. But shadow loomed, my checkup, thyroid stable but monitored. A reminder of fragility. We're tougher, Mason vowed, hand on my scar. Betrayal's last gasp. Old LA flames surfaced. Letter, apologetic, enclosing a sketch Mason gifted years back. Keep it, Mason said, burning it symbolic in the sink. Past ash. Climax revisited. Gallery scandal. Rival exposed for theft. Mason's testimony key. Courtroom tense, but justice swift. Settlement. Series reclaimed. Victory parade. Ice cream on stoops. Toasts to unshiftable us. Humanistic close. Years montage Luca's graduation. Our vows too under Aurora. Alaska whim. Gray creeping our curls. City changed, brownstone bought. Garden coaxed green. But core held. Two men. Shifted from app glitch to life's tapestry. In twilight rockers on our porch. Overlooking the East River. Mason sketches still. My book beside. Best discovery, he says, hand in mine. Everything shifted right. Sunset gilds us gold. Love's quiet roar. Epilogue whisper. Luca's wedding. Us dancing slow. Full circle. Hearts full. In America's vast heart, we found ours. Dramatic, emotional, romantic, human, enduring.